On this episode of the Summoning Circle podcast, we interview top player AndyWand, who recently made his live tournament debut in GwentSlam 2. Today we interview Ilias AndyWand Karamanis, a talented German player who you may recognize from GwentSlam 2. Although he was knocked out in the first round of the live tournament, he showed some really good games and promising skill for being a top Gwent tournament player. Due to some technical difficulties, a few minutes from the beginning of the podcast were lost to the aether, and at a point about 8 minutes into the interview, we lost connection, and I put a little Gwent-sounding flute in to signify the break. I'll now summarize the brief discussion that got left out before jumping into the interview. Through high school, Andy was a competitive table tennis player, crushing local competition and competing on a national level by age 18. He then switched his competitive attention to Hearthstone, where he just missed having enough points to qualify for the preliminary tournaments. We'll now jump straight into the interview, where Andy is talking about giving up table tennis and how he got into Gwent.
So at some point, like school and doing this, and it becomes like too much of a time investment, and you just stop, which I consider a mistake. Like today, of course, I consider it a mistake, but at least I got into Gwent this way, right? It's fine.
Yeah. So you're onto your next step here.
Yeah.
So with Gwent. So how did you find Gwent originally?
When I first started, like I know this is an unpopular opinion. Like when I asked like most pros in GwentSlam, they said when I first started playing Gwent, I hated it. It's like such an awkward game. It looks shit. It's so weird. I don't know. It took them some time to actually even start to love it. But I liked it. I liked it right away.
Yeah,
I liked it right away. I think it's just. I mean, I'm biased here, right? Because I'm not like many Gwent players are really into other video games as well. Like when I talk to GwentSlam with people, like many people like played Skyrim and whatsoever, like even many different games.
Right.
But I'm not into that much into that stuff so much. I liked like when I was a kid, I played Pokemon and that stuff, but I'm not really that. Like I bought a new PC just to play Gwent because it didn't work on my laptop like properly.
Oh, really?
So what's up with it? Yeah, like
just
my laptop is like pretty old.
Right.
Game, yeah. For a card game, I bought a like $1,000 PC to play a card game.
Well,
yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's a true story.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's not as polished of a game as Hearthstone, but the art is really good, and
the art is crazy.
Yeah,
literally. That's the first that's how I advertise the game. Really, when I show it to my friends, I just go over the premiums I have and show them, hey, look at this, it's awesome. You want to play this, right? And then I show them one game and they don't get anything, and they just I might just stick to looking at the art.
Yeah. I was looking at like CD Projekt Red has like. Some of those artists are in-house and they're just full-time doing the like card art basically and concept art.
Super cool. Yeah, it looks so awesome. I mean, for me it's a bigger deal. Like, why would I care about like how the background looks if I can have like that's actually one game I played, like Witcher 3. I played this game.
Okay.
I played it after I got into Gwent, but right after.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, and I loved it. I bought an Xbox just for this. So yeah.
Wait, couldn't you have used your new $1,000 PC?
No. I played it on the laptop, like Gwent at the start, and it worked. But at some point when they like added the whole premium thing, it didn't work anymore. Okay. So. But there was some time after I already bought an Xbox and The Witcher 3 there. Yeah. They really got my money, CD Projekt Red. Like I want something back. If you hear this, I could use some extra kicks as well.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna make you win tournaments to do that. I think though. So
yeah, okay, yeah, like Retha's gonna make me win some coin flips, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of tournaments, you came onto the scene after you won the GwentSlam qualifier. I think most people had maybe played you on Pro Ladder, but you still hadn't played a bunch of Pro Ladder at that point, so you were a new name for most people.
Yeah.
So how did you prepare for the tournament, and what was your strategy?
I played a lot with like my friends online, like just not even the most competitive people in the world, but they are quite decent at the game.
Yeah.
They always reached like top 100 in Pro Ladder and that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just encountered each other at some point in the game and added each other, and then we practiced. Like
Nice.
I had one guy mainly I practiced with, and yeah, got my decks I was comfortable with. I don't know really much to say about it. I just played a lot.
Yeah.
Like when I saw that there was this qualifier happening, and we actually back in the day we had some time at least to prepare because we knew not like this time for GwentSlam 3, which was actually pretty awkward.
Yeah, like 30 hours to prepare.
So that was a bit stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, but so let's get back to the one you won. What was your? Did you have a strategy for the decks you picked?
Yeah, I wanted to beat Skellige most of the time, and I knew there's no ban. Like there's no ban.
Yeah, no ban.
There's just there's no ban. So the strategy kind of gets a little bit wacky if you have no ban. Like you was always to face like every deck of the opponent. So I can't like I have always to. It was back in the day was Monster, Nilfgaard, Skellige most people brought.
Right.
And some people recognized back in the day already that Monster is not that strong, which you can see if you watch my GwentSlam games. Monster's not that crazy. So they played like Northern Realms or Scoia'tael or something instead.
Right.
I think Scoia'tael would be the best choice there actually. But I brought monsters myself. So I brought monsters myself, and I just well, I had like orcs in and like stuff to try to beat Skellige, because if they lose the flip with Nilfgaard, you're like in very good shape anyway. And with monsters, you can do this. Like there's not really a efficient strategy, because some people didn't even bring monsters. That's why, and I knew this could happen, so I didn't go like a full targeting strategy. I think this would be quite foolish in a big tournament like this, where you have like to play like this many hours and this many games. I would always advise you to just go for full consistency. Like consistency is all you need. You don't need to have like when you look at Game King, for example, like his lineup for the GwentSlam. It's a great lineup in an 8-people tournament. Like Iris and every deck, greedy Guardian. Let's go. We want more greed, efficient stuff, points on the board. But in a tournament environment, you can actually assume that most of your opponents, especially in the beginning, will be worse than you. Like just like in Pro Ladder, and you have to have your stuff in the right moment. That's why I was bringing Calvit actually. I brought Calvit because I needed my Van Hema in time when they played Gold Weather. I needed my Guardian in time when I played the Mirror, and it's fine too. I don't know. I think the main point is just what I said. Like high rolling in a tournament is nice, and consistency in a qualifier is good. It's what you need. Because you need to beat a lot of players. Like I don't know how many rounds it actually was, like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
It takes a few hours.
It's a marathon, right? You need to not make.
I encourage anyone really, but it's fun. It's really fun. For me, it was fun at least. I don't know. It's comforting. It's not like as stressful as playing in GwentSlam or something. It's just you're at home. You can get cozy and play some Gwent. it's fine. I think even if you lose, like I would still like just go ahead and play one just to have the experience, because I think like playing at least like a best of
something, a conquest format, like, or even a ban if you have the chance to participate in, like, I don't know, like the GwentSlam are doing these as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good experience too. I
Yeah.
did okay. I think in the qualifier you won. I ended up going against your countryman, Cole Moan.
Oh, yeah, I saw him, yeah.
I lost.
He got quite fast one, right?
I lost 3-2, and it was really close. So it was fun though. It's a good experience.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
I also
in the first round.
No, I think it was the 4th round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good experience. I also recommend it to anyone who's considering it, because the worst case is you just lose right away, and it only takes an hour of your time.
Oh.
So
I mean,
yeah.
On the just to add this, because on the first day, I think I actually said that in the interview for GwentSlam, but they cut it out.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I said that I played in the qualifier for Saturday as well, like in GwentSlam, but I dropped out the first game.
Oh yeah.
In the first round, 3-2 after losing 5 coin flips. Like, what's this? But I really put up a fight. Like, it actually this motivated me to play in the second one, because I still lost only 3-2 after losing 5 coin flips and having bricked hands with Skellige. So that was quite impressive. Yeah, and the guy winning against me, his name is McPoyle. Okay. We actually became quite good friends, and he practiced a lot for me for GwentSlam then. Eventually.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was fun.
So speaking of GwentSlam, how does playing a live tournament compare to online? Was that your first live tournament?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So did you ever compete in any tournaments in Hearthstone?
I had in Hearthstone works with these HCT points, right?
Right.
So I almost got into a prelim at some point, like by a few points. I can remember that I was playing for a top ladder finish at some point in the end of the month. Like, I think like it's almost 2 years. It's almost 2 years ago now. And I got insanely unlucky, and that was actually when I didn't qualify for the prelims, just because of like insane stuff. I don't know how much into the audience is into Hearthstone, but for anyone who has a clue, like, there was a card called Mulch.
Yeah.
Giving the opponent a random card when you destroy theirs. So you destroy their card and they get a random one. So after the rogue opponent was in fatigue, I gave them with Mulch. I had 2 Mulch, so I gave them first a Deathwing, and they Deathwinged me, and then I mulched the Deathwing, and he got the Reno Jackson to get to full life again, and finish me off with the Eviscerate top deck afterwards. So it was like this completely stupid game, almost at midnight.
Yeah.
Where I was competing for top 10 legend finish. Yeah, and I finished like top, I don't know, 13 or something. Rank 13 or something.
Well,
because of this game. Yeah.
That? I wouldn't blame you if that's your last Hearthstone game ever.
That was my I played some when a new expansion came out. Like, I just took a.
But that's not a good experience.
Yeah.
So how did?
That was my last competitive Hearthstone game. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see how that would turn you off. So how was GwentSlam compared to playing the online qualifier? Since you had very little tournament experience overall, no live tournament experience, that must have been quite a bit different. How would you describe that?
Yeah, I think I can, like, there's 2 major differences there. The first is that it's actually less about playing the game than you think.
Okay.
Like, most of the time, we just sit there talking about the game, like, having fun. Like, it's just a very, very we weren't playing this much, right?
Right.
We laughed and talked and just had a good time. Like,
yeah.
Ate together. And it was basically like moving in with some new friends and just having like a week there living with them.
Right. Only game king was still climbing ladder, right?
Yeah, but that was fun as well, right?
Yeah.
Like when you have people around you while you play the game, or like it's a very social experience as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not when you play the qualifier, it's just like you play and you play and you play and you might enjoy the game, and this is why you enjoy the qualifier as a whole. But when you want to enjoy like such a live event, you have to enjoy like getting together with people as well.
Oh, for sure.
It's much about that. Like, and for me, because I do like to connect with people, especially I love talking about the game. Like when you watch the Tier 2 podcast, like I accidentally like spoke when Merchant was talking like so many times, because I always want to like embrace my Gwent love all the time.
Yeah.
So if you are that type, it's a great. Yeah, it's a great. It's a great
because on that podcast, I mean, normally guests are not used to joining that kind of roundtable like discussion, but you got in a lot of your comments, so I was happy to hear that, because you're the best. I mean, you and Petrify
just go in.
Yeah. You and Petrify are the best players so of that group. So we want to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, like I wouldn't call off like True Dawn. He's a good player as well. Like I respect him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think I have a. I think I have a losing record against him. So I can't say much.
If I would be in Merchant's situation, like reading his chat and all the time, like while playing, I wouldn't play better than him anyway. So I can't really blame him as well.
No. That's not a slight against them. Just
yeah, of course.
Yeah. It was good
to
hear you
of course.
on that.
I'm really confident in what I was saying there. Like when I, although we all like. There were a few things we were actually wrong about, because it was so early in the patch. Like we overestimated Nilfgaard, because it hasn't been nerfed yet. It's actually not that crazy. But it looked crazy. So yeah.
I agree. I also made a mistake there. I thought for sure it would be Nilfgaard there would be some sort of reveal deck that would be really strong, but no.
Yeah, or even Spice. Even Spice is like it's very good, and it might still be the best deck in the game, but it's not broken. Not as broken as it was before somehow, even though nothing really changed. But when the meta shifts in a slight way, you always have like something else creeping up, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Spies was strong. So why do you think? Then this will be a difficult question. Why do you think Spies got weaker, even though, if anything, they got more tools? What do you think changed in the meta that made it just a little weaker? I mean, still, like, I think Adzikov already has 1460.
Yeah, 1470. 1470. This guy's crazy, but he's like the best with it, right? So it's not really fair to say. Like, you're still like, even me, Shaggy, we all are stuck like at 1350 or something. We can't get higher than this, really.
Yeah.
I was trying, I started today at like 1300 and hit like a 12-win streak and got to 1350 only recently. So when we end this interview, you know what I'm doing. I'm grinding Nilfgaard. So if you want to, yeah. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm trying to get to like 1400 as well with Nilfgaard, but it's actually quite hard. Like in the past, it must have been really easy in comparison.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think. The most matchups actually in the past were like much easier for Nilfgaard. When you look at Scoia'tael in general, for example, like now there's this hand buff, Francesca stuff going on.
Yeah,
and it's a worse matchup than old Spellertel was, for example. Like against Spelltail, you with Nilfgaard, when you're a very good Nilfgaard player, you always win this matchup. And when you win the coin flip, you always win this matchup.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They have Mardro in their deck. They have like all the Thunders for all your enforcers. It doesn't matter. You win the game because you win the first round on even cards, and that's it. You can Cantarella them, you can coin flip abuse, buy them whenever you want. You have all the tools. You're just in good shape. But when you play against Francesca, for example, they can tempo you out with Isengrim, no problem. They can kill your enforcers with efficiently, not like with Thunder, because Thunder is not efficient. Thunder is I put down one point with Elven Merc and zap your stuff. I play like minus. I lose the trade because the enforcer already shot me like for 6 damage.
Yeah,
and then I zap
2. Yeah,
at least. Yeah, so it's not a good trade. That's why I'm always getting a bit like mad when I see people like, oh, just take Thunder in your deck. It's so good against Nilfgaard. No, it's not. It's not. Or like Ciara and my enforcer were already shot 2 times. Like I'm fine. Like trade your silver logs with my enforcers. I'm doing this all day. Perfectly reasonable.
You get
or even Radovid. Radovid is overestimated for this reason as well. Like locking 2 enforcers after they shot like 4 times, it's totally fine with Nilfgaard. They don't care. They drop brigades afterwards for 20 points anyway, and they are good.
Yeah,
like, that's
and
not the
problem. They use their leader power, and you still have Emir with their 7-point CLAC.
It's good.
Not
still good for you. Yeah. Everything's fine there. Yeah, but when you compare it to like them playing the Gwent 6 strength new brand stuff, how is it called?
The Swordsman.
Yeah, Swordsman. Swordsman. I don't know. Yeah, but these guys, they kill them efficiently. That's an efficient kill there. Yeah, you get at least you get 6 points. That they are probably like 4 or maybe 6, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's without any buffs.
Yeah, without any buffs.
Yeah, and if they get more buff, then they can take out brigades that are buffed, and it's a trade very efficiently.
I think in Skellige, Wolfsbane actually helps a lot as well. Like look at Wolfsbane. Like when you go second as Skellige now, and you have Wolfsbane in your deck, which I recommend you have because many people like cut it for muzzle. I think it's a mistake. Just play this card. This card is amazing. Like when you go second, it just wins you the game because it gives you always the pass you want to take. It gives you against setup decks like against Scoia'tael, they Island turn 1. You play Bran for 12 points or 7 points right away, and then Wolfsbane comes into play later. You always get them 2 cards down then.
Yeah,
it's great. Against decks that have to set up. Yeah. Against decks that have to set up, like Nilfgaard itself. Like many players against Skellige open enforcers and that stuff because they are greedy.
With
Wolfsbane, you can really much abuse this. You can get. So I think Nilfgaard basically got weaker because they gave tempo tools to other classes as well. Like Bran is now a tempo leader somehow. He's a tempo leader with Wolfsbane.
Right.
Francesca can be a tempo leader now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got some tempo to contest the Empire.
The tempo Empire. Yeah, that's some good insight. So
that's the main reason. Yeah.
Speaking of ladder, you have been grinding a lot, and you have I think at the moment we're speaking, you're what rank are you? I think you're top 5.
4. I think I'm 4 at the moment.
You took over 4? Okay.
Yeah, I took. I think I'm not on my computer right now, but Arcan issue was 5 when I started. And now was 4 when I started. Now I am 4 because I gained a lot of MMR with Nilfgaard. Yeah.
Nice.
But still, like I didn't play Restore before. I didn't play Skellige before the Restore nerf. Because I thought the most likely change hotfix that happened would be Nilfgaard, so I grinded Nilfgaard first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. They got me again. Like.
But I don't think anyone got too high with Skellige, so it shouldn't be too much.
No. That's not true. Like look at Life Coach, look at JJ, look at even Shaggy. They all got to like 1400 almost.
Yeah, but I think by the end of the season, the top players will be higher than that, because as the season goes on, the I mean, they got the easy MMR, but I don't think it'll stick at the top. Because if you remember last,
yeah, of course. No, I'm still okay. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm totally tagged yet, but
but for Skellige is still good. So unlike last season Pro Ladder, Northern Realms went from the best faction to the worst, and those MMRs stuck for the whole season, the first week. Yeah. So I think it's a little bit more fair this time. But it's still a
I wouldn't underestimate the restore change. Like, it is a 4-point nerf to a deck, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's basically like nerfing a bronze card in this case.
Yeah.
Because if you nerf like enforcers to 5 points, the deck gets nerfed by 3 points, right? Because you have 3 enforcers in your deck. And because you changed restore, you actually nerf the deck by 4 points. So it's a big deal. Yeah. Because you nerf it by 2 points and you res it afterwards with Sigdrifer, so it's 4 points. It's a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably like 30 MMR deal, but not more. But yeah,
maybe.
Still.
Yeah, I've even cut restore from my Kraken Crate deck.
The cursed deck?
Yeah, I'm running like a cursed a hybrid cursed deck. But
that's actually the best deck to play to play cursed. I think if you want to play cursed, just not play the Marauders. Just play Harpooners still, and only the Berserker, the Raging Bear dudes. Yeah,
I'm
the Bear dudes.
I'm actually doing the other way around. I'm playing Marauders and no Bears.
Really?
And I mulligan away Marauders, and so the only way I get Marauders out of the deck are through Herald Hound Snout, and then
that's actually not smart.
Yeah,
but Herald doesn't go off all the time, right?
No, but
it just Vilgefort's your guy, and then you're sad.
Yeah. So, but I also have Whale Harpooners, so I can use Haymade Battle Maiden on Whale Harpooners. It's working out. I've got like 1,300 FMMR, and I'm not at 100 games yet, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Look at my Skellige MMR. It's total shit. It's literally like total shit. Like I can't even defend it. Like I don't know. I think Skellige is a bit of a high rolly class right now.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not feeling it with Skellige right now, but I'll get there eventually. It's fine. I'm playing. I'm going back to Harpooners, and it's gonna be okay. Basically, you want the Harpooners. If you have the Harpooners, then you're pretty much golden. And you want the red coin as well. It's pretty big.
Yeah, for sure.
In your deck, I would just play it as a gold card in your deck. It's worth it.
It would be worth it, wouldn't it? Give up a gold slot for red coin.
I mean, there's. I would play the red coin over Coral in Skellige.
That's a
bold statement, but I think it's actually.
Yeah. I think you might be right though. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it,
not that good.
That's true. It's good against Necker decks. That's about it.
Yeah. I hate this Necker deck. It's just good when you win the coin flip with the Necker deck. It's quite disgusting.
Yeah.
Because you can slow roll them like insanely good with this deck. Yeah, you just Necker Warrior. Like you don't have to worry about tempo. It's so nice if you win the coin flip. But if you lose the coin flip, you're just in such a bad spot. You go 3 cards down against Nilfgaard or something.
Yeah. So what are your opinions on the current meta? How many decks do you think are viable for each faction? Do you think that they're all strong?
I think it's
Yeah,
I think it's a good meta actually.
Yeah.
Like I was not expecting to be able to say this at some point. Yeah. Like when I saw the patch notes in there, I thought like, what's up with this? Like nothing the war never changes here, right? We still play Harpooners. we still play Spies in Nilfgaard. Like nice that we got new cards, but nobody will play them. But I was wrong. I think that Northern Realms actually got a lot better. Just because of the 10 strength guy. Like, it's one carryover. It's so good, right? Against Nilfgaard. This card alone gives you a chance against Nilfgaard. Like, Honestly.
Yeah.
This card is so good against Nilfgaard. Like, it's the best card against Nilfgaard because it gives you the kill their stuff in time.
Yeah.
You play this first, and then you have the time to develop your rams and kill the enforcers and that stuff. And if you lose the round, you still have the 1 point of carryover, and Thala is the same strength as Cantarella. So if they spy you round 2, you're still good.
Yes.
It's amazing. Best card in the game versus any deck that doesn't have huge carryover. And I think that's a good reason why Skellige is actually not that bad, even though it got nerfed the most.
Oh, right. Yeah, Morkvarg is so reliable.
Yeah, carryover matters again. And Skellige is the carryover class number 1. Monsters is just not the carryover class anymore, except when you go in Nikas.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I think my I played a lot of Spell Scoia'tael this season as well, and I was pretty successful with it as well. But then at some point something changed. Like, I don't know. Like, at some point I wasn't like winning games anymore with it, and I think the reason is because finally people found out that it's actually Scoia'tael is the worst class right now. The first faction.
Really? Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I think Scoia'tael is the worst. Yeah, I think Northern Realms is better, and that's why I talked with Red Rame. He's 1400 with Northern Realms right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty nice Northern Realms player.
Yeah.
About this, and Monster has 2 strong decks. Eredin, Frost, Iris stuff is really good right now. It's good against Nilfgaard because you can drown out their stuff and it always dies. You play 3 bronze. How's it called? 3 bronze Eskel in your deck, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah. You have really powerful gold slots, silver slots. You have everything. Like everything is. Yeah. It's a nice deck. And the Neckar deck, well, it's a bit more high rolly and it's a bit more coin. It's also coin flip dependent, like the Eredin deck is as well, because you don't have as good of proactive plays and that stuff. But yeah, Monster is actually in a good spot, I think. Like, the Neckar deck is a bit stronger. Monster is pretty strong actually, I think.
Yeah.
And then you have Skellige, of course. Okay, they have not as much variety, I think. I think X-Men is actually pretty weak, like weaker than last patch right now.
I agree. I think it's pretty weak.
Yeah, if they don't have gold weather counters, I guess you can get a win here and there. No problem. You can do that. Special.
You can do that with any gold weather deck, though.
Yeah.
You can play gold weather, hand buff Scoia'tael, and beat people who don't have weather clears. So, yeah.
Yep. These snowball weather decks, like the old movement Scoia'tael deck with gold weather and X-Men, I think these got hit the most actually.
Yeah.
Just because we don't have decks that really suffer in the long round anymore. Like in the past, I always had this deck. I said like I want always a short round in round 3. Like if I don't have a short round, I lose.
Yeah.
I can't even give you one deck right now that is like really bad in a long round. I think we are in the meta of long rounds again. Like long round 1, dry pass stuff in round 1 because your deck is good in round 1. Yeah. That's where we're at again.
Yeah, it's interesting how the meta changes from, like mid-range rounds to long round 1s. I think that's a very interesting part about how the meta changes.
Yep.
Cool. So
I'm happy with it. I'm just want to put that. I'm pretty happy with the meta. I wish there would be like some new, some deck that really relies on the new cards. But I think it's as good as it's gonna get. After. So we should be happy with the balancing of CD Projekt Red. I'm always a big advocate of just trusting in them and not like hating on them as much, because I think they are actually doing a great job there.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and I think you're a pretty positive guy overall. You seem to be. So that's good.
Oh, I am.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for the chat. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about before we wrap things up?
I don't know. I'm pretty good. I think we talked about many things really. I'm happy with it really. Great to talk to you. Actually, I'm very excited about this. Yeah, cool.
Great. Likewise. So where can people find you on the internet? Where should they follow you, and how can they keep up with your exploits to get to the top of the pro ladder and that sort of thing?
Just you can always stalk the Master's Gwent side, of course. Like my girlfriend is doing, for example. She's like always like, oh no, he dropped the rank.
Really?
Oh no. Yeah. But it's really fine. Most people won't get it if they're not into Gwent, like how the MMR system works. It's like quite complicated, right?
For sure.
Yeah, but I would just recommend checking out my Twitter. I post stuff quite recently, and if I'm not, I'm basically grinding pro ladder, so you know what I'm doing anyway. My Twitter is AndyWand at Karamanis Ilias.
Yep, I'll put a link in the description. So it'll be easy for people to get to. Well, I want to with my Twitter. I want to post decks or funny moments or something, like to just get a bit of community stuff going, like while I'm playing. I don't have the time or anything to produce content myself. Like I'll follow Vanitas is doing, like a great job. But yeah, that's what I add to it. So I think it's fine. So if you want, check me out. Cool. Well, I recommend everyone follow Andy, and if you haven't seen his games from GwentSlam, to check those out. No,
don't check it out. You'll drown the wrong guy again if you do. Like, look at the drowner. Do you remember the drowner play?
Yes.
Drowning. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was
forget about this.
Yeah. Well,
you can go ahead and watch the first 2 games I played against JJ, and then just tune.
And then skip to the interview.
Yeah.
Right. That would work. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks again, and we'll be watching to see you in future tournaments. I'm sure you'll be back soon. You seem to be committed, and you've got a good mind for the game. So, yeah. Thanks again.
Hope so. Yeah. See you.
I hope you enjoyed the interview. You can follow AndyWand on Twitter at Karamanis_Ilias. Link will be in the description. Stay tuned for the next Summoning Circle podcast. We have more interviews coming soon, and you can subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever podcasts are played. Thank you.